Well, ladies and gentlemen, we love to say a very, very pleasant good morning to you, good afternoon, good night, wherever you've joined us from. We are here at the Capitol building, and the personality you see on the screen will introduce himself very shortly, but we love to say keep sharing this live. We are in an exclusive interview today. Earlier on today, in about 4 hours ago, we were able to alert you that we were coming to have a personality who's going to talk to us. Honorable, welcome to Nimba D-9 TV.
Thank you very much, Edmond. It's a pleasure.
Well, so who is Honorable Roger Domah?
Well, Roger Domah is an educator. I'm also a manager. I am a religious leader, and I've worked extensively in the health and the educational system of our country. I've also had the opportunity to work with young people, from cross section of our society. I've also been an activist because I'm somebody who would like to see the right thing being done. So normally, when I see people going against the norms, it pains me a lot. So I like to see. I'm a principle-minded person. I hail from Baidui, and my father was a very humble man. He graduated from Kanda Methodist, and they were the first students of the nursing school. Now we call it Winifred J. Hardy School of Nursing, and he worked with Kanda Hospital for some years. He rose up to even administrative level and later went to Saglepi and set up the first health post in that district. And he started a clinic in Saglepi, and later he spread to Mela and Dwe and Sokopa and a lot of places across the district. He touched the lives of a lot of people. So we grew up with that passion. That's why you will see that today, without any regret, we will take our last and invest it into the life of somebody, because we believe that life is not just about yourself, it's about everybody else. So I'm from the United Methodist Church. Um, I started school in my village. Later, I was taken to Yekepa. I attended the Lango area school system, area T school and C school, and came back to Tozo, and later went to the Kanda United Methodist School where I did my high school. When I completed, I attended the CW Junior College. We were the last batch of students in that program that graduated with associate degree, and then when the United Methodist University was chartered, I spent a semester and later got a scholarship and went to Zimbabwe. Came back and I did my master's program with the Cardinal Graduate Program.
Hmm. Well, so if you just join us, we are in an exclusive interview with Representative Roger Domah from Electoral District number 7. You have just heard it from himself here, who he is, a little bit about himself. But before we come to this interview, we cross-check and we understand your father was the only child of his parents. How confirm is that?
Yeah, he was the only child of his mother.
Of his mother. Okay.
Yes, the father had a lot of wives. Most of them, interestingly, the family. He told me, he said, those days we don't know what was happening, but if the old man gets married and have a boy child first, that boy child becomes the only child to the mother. So you will see that most of them who are his siblings, they were just born just one by their mothers. Those that you see, many are people who have their mothers, know how to get children first. If you have a get child first, then you can have the opportunity to have other children.
Wow. So, for example, I believe growing up, you probably may have asking how come, though you can't question God, but I mean, was he sometimes telling you, I pray that you people will have many children?
Oh yes, I mean he's somebody who his children establishing family or his concern. So once you get at a mature age, you say, but where's your partner? I want to see your partner. Whether you are the male or female, you always want to see your partner. So he had a concern. He wanted to have a lot of grandchildren before he can divide.
Wow. Okay, well, so to all those who've joined us, we love to say thanks for joining this broadcast this morning. We are at the Office of Representative Roger Domah right here in Monrovia up Capitol Hills. But today we woke up to a side event in Maine, Nimba County, where natural disaster took place and a lot of people whom got damaged according to our agriculture, or contact person there. Maybe you would like to say something about that.
Yeah, I think I saw the photograph from the D-9 TV page. It's very sad. We got very close connection with Wayne. The township commissioner there is my uncle. So sometimes I stop by to greet them. I tried calling in this morning to find out how the situation was, but I was not able to get him. We also have the United Methodist Church there, and the pastor there was also my pastor in Saclapie.
Hmm.
So when I saw the information on Dina TV page,
Hmm.
I got concerned. I was trying to get in touch with them, but I was not able to go through. So it's a concern. I hope that if I had the opportunity to go to Nimba, I can pass there to see how I can identify with our people there.
Okay, so we'd love to say thanks to all those who've joined us from Atlanta, Georgia. James O. Harris, the project coordinator, the project director for Unico National, is watching along with a couple of our citizens from across the country and around the world. We'd love to say welcome. But you attempted the first time to run as a representative. You did not win. You did not give up, according to our statistics, and you were privileged to be given the mantle of power in 2017. But since that time till now, what are some of the major achievements or initiatives that you've been carrying on?
What our parents taught us is to invest in human capacity building, human resource building. So we have been involved with that. Uh, it has not been a perfect process because of the economic challenges we've been faced with,
Okay.
but we have tried to impact the lives of a lot of young people by sending them to school, by providing aid to them. Sometimes people say, "Oh, the thing is not scholarship," and I will always tell people what I do is to motivate young people to go to school, because some of the people who have come to school now, they graduated many years ago. They were back in the village. Some were running motorbike, but the fact that we encourage them, and getting that token to say go to school, it has become a motivation for them now. They will never go back to say, "Oh, I'm going to sit down in the village to do this." They are going to be very useful to the family, through the motivation we have given them. I think that's a big success that we have been having. A lot of them really appreciate it. This one Sunday I was in Yasin. I was invited to preach at a joint service there. And after the service, I was just surprised. People coming up, the other boy said he's about to graduate from NCCC, and he brought chicken. The other pastor came. He said, "Oh, you are sponsoring my child." But I don't know those children. You are sponsoring my daughter, so he brought another chicken. And, just like that, it was their testimony. And I think it motivates me a lot to even spend my last, when these kind of things are happening.
Wow. So, well, if you just joined us, we'd love to say thanks for joining Nimba D9 TV. We are here with Representative Roger Domah. And Nimba D9 TV is made up of a lot of different professional people, some health workers, journalists, social workers, security apparatus, religious people. But this is what we do. We are community-based, rural community-based, but we want to hear sometimes from those who are leading those communities and making decisions for them up Capitol Hill. So wherever you join us this morning, keep sharing this live with us as well. So well, sometimes people will say there are key issues that people are elected for, especially as representative for this country. You must have the ability to make a law, to represent your people, and all of that. So for the past years, would you like to tell us or share with us and your audience how many bills you've passed, or which one you have sponsored, and which one have been successful, and what are they?
Well, our first year of legislative work, we introduced two bills,
Okay.
and those bills were to create township in our district,
Okay.
Miaple, Islay, and Gawampa. But the bill was introduced just within the time the local governance act was passed and signed into law. So the president placed hot on the creation of additional administrative structures in the country.
Okay.
So that bill, the committee wanted to make this report, but they advised us that they were not going to come off with it. So it did not come out. Um, we also co-sponsored the Stand Alone bill.
Okay.
Honorable Larry Youngberg was the chief sponsor of that bill. We worked together assiduously to ensure that the legislature passed that. The Stand Alone bill tries to bring accountability and transparency into the utilization of social development funds. So it will be separating that from the county development fund so that there will be a clear-cut impact that will be assessed across the communities that are affected. Okay, so these are some of the instruments that we have dealt with. Or Richard Kuhn,
Okay.
or the Seri Maserati and I, also co-sponsor a bill
Okay.
on the welfare of disability people living with disability. So these are some of the instruments that we have worked with since we came.
Okay, so wherever you join us from this morning, we love to say keep sharing this live. We are in conversation with Representative Roger Domah, Nimba County Electoral District 7. So probably one would like to know what is the working relationship since you took on to serve the people of District Number 7 with the local leaders.
Yes, we have had a good working relationship with the local leaders. I know some of them are just coming on board and they're still they are still in the learning curve. So they might be making some mistakes and whatever. But whatever programs, whatever activities that we have in the district, we always try to involve them. You will observe that most of the programs you see, almost all of the local authorities coming to attend. That tells you the relationship that I got with them. I check on them on a regular basis. But we are human beings. There will be times that there will be policy clashes.
Okay.
Because I'm from the opposition and they are representing the ruling party. So in that light, there will be some misunderstanding, but it doesn't spoil our relationship. At the end of the day, we all come on the same table, sit and talk and continue to work together.
Wow, that's a nice one. But we'd love to say to all of our viewers, sorry for the quality of light. We pray that electricity can be restored here at the Capitol building shortly. It was on this morning, but yes, that is what we're experiencing. But again, we were listening to somebody and they said the Capitol building is not a church house, and you are a pastor. So how are you working along with your colleagues, Senator Johnson, Senator Kuhn, Representative Gueklo, and the rest of the people? How are you? What is your working relationship with them?
So far, I think we have had cordial working relationship.
Okay.
In spite of our political differences, we continue to communicate. Senator Johnson is like father to all of us. We hold him in high esteem. And I always told people, I said, this is the strength of the senator. He's one person from the caucus who will call you almost every time to check on you.
Wow.
So I really appreciate that attribute of him. Okay. Checking. Or just yesterday, he myself were on the phone. He called me, and we spoke lengthily. So Senator Kuhn and myself we are from the United Methodist Church, from the Middle Addison United Methodist Church, where I pastored before. Okay. So we have very cordial relationship. The rest of the guys, or Gueglo, or Glikia, or Kagon, or Topa, or Sonwabe, or Koga, or Larry Yonkwe, we all have cordial working relationship. We call regularly, check on each other. Sometimes I always thought people don't mind what is in the media. It might appear that there are differences, but when we are together, we work together. We are not coordinating well.
Wow. So wherever you join us from, this is Nimba TV. We're coming to you from the Capitol Hill office of our representative, Roger Domah. But growing up as a child, I used to see my uncles who were chiefs when they gather together, they eat together. Do you people sometimes eat together? Your normal staple food of Nimba, GB. Do you sometimes share it with Prince Johnson, Senator Johnson, Senator Cone, or Gweklo? Do you
No,
sometimes have fun?
no, we have meetings and we eat
Okay.
together. Most
Okay.
of our meetings are the homes of these lawmakers. We all eat together.
Okay.
Recently, some of us were at Morokoga's house. He prepared very delicious food for us, and of course, JB was part of it.
Okay.
We ate it together. We have been to when Senator Groupie was there. Most of the time, we go to his house. We
Okay.
eat. We all eat together.
Mm.
And the senator is there. We visit Senator Johnson at his house, and we talk. We have been together.
Hmm.
And what I would not want to sweep under the carpet is that, remember, all of us are from different political parties.
Okay.
So there will be those policy differences, political differences, but I think on the overall, we all desire to work in the interest of Nimba County.
Wow, on the overall design. So sometimes when you all are together, like for instance, we have role challenges, and when leaders meet, sometimes on the dining table, this is where they sometimes prefer ideas to see how they can alleviate some of the situation facing their people. B and Doru is one place, and Babli is another challenging area. So sometimes, what are some of those things you really talking about when you are on the table?
When we talk about Nimba development, the
Okay.
progress of Nimba,
Mhm.
um, you remember that you recall that last year the government was able to give us some of our social development money.
Okay.
It was just because of our conversation around the table that we decided that we go to the finance ministry and demand for what the central government has for Nimba County. We went there. The entire caucus was there. We're later joined by Senator Gruby. He was the last person that entered. But we all gathered at Senator Johnson's house that morning. We got a convoy and we drove to the finance ministry. The finance minister was very generous. He opened his windows of generosity to us, and we interacted. At the end of the day, we came up with a conclusion where money was given to Nimba County. And as we speak, after the county sitting, work is ongoing across the county. Um, the horizontal projects are going on now. They are trying to repair the moving equipment so that road work can start across the country. So yes, the caucus is working in the interest of the people of Nimba County.
Okay, well, so we love to say all those who've joined us, thank you. Thank you so much. Keep sharing this live. We are here with your representative, one of your representatives from Nimba County. They are there on the table talking about that. Yes, we can safely say we were just in Campley. We just came from Campley. We saw the roadways. We went to Yikipa. We saw the roadways ongoing between there. And also Ganta, he has also started there. So I believe there's a great relief. And we even talked to your city major in Saklipi, who said that Saklipi is going to be next to Ganta as long they have the quota, passing through. But yeah, a lot of people joining us, and we just love to see keep sharing this. So the health, education, and agriculture, these are things that we sometimes have problem with. But the in district number 7, before taking on to this new assignment to lead your people, what were some of the challenges in the health sector, and what are some of the interventions being made thus far?
Well, the health sector is one of the areas that has been hard hit, and when it comes to support,
Okay.
we have flagged that over and over. Budgetary allotment to our major health facilities, have been cut off,
Okay.
because I will not say reduced.
Hmm.
Saklepie Health Center had 150,000 in the budget. Now it's 50,000. So I'm saying it's cutting off.
Hmm.
Ban had 100,000. Now it has come down to 10,000. And these are hugely populated areas. And what we call in health center today, if you go in some of the counties, that's what they will be referring to as hospitals. Even referring hospital as we speak. There's a volunteer team at Saklepie Health Center carrying on surgery on the citizens. I spoke with Dr. Coleman this morning. He said they have done 105 surgeries, and they screened 216 persons to undergo that surgery. So if you start cutting support from such health facility, you can imagine what will be happening. And the interesting thing is that these are not private institutions. They are government institutions that are regulated by government policies. So the administrators, the leaders of the place will not just do things on their own.
Okay.
So it only requires government support to make them to become more effective and efficient in the service delivery, aspect of their work.
Mm-hmm.
So we also have the Petro Clinic.
Okay.
I was there some times ago, and the area is kind of, it's in a difficult situation. So I met with the health minister last year to see how adequate support can be given to some of the things we discussed. I went to Nimba. We did some assessment on suppose that the claim that we're going to those health facilities. That discussion is still ongoing. We have one of our chieftains in the district, our chieftain. It does not have any public health facility. That claimed our attention as we speak in Liberia. There's a clinic construction project going on there through the Social Development Fund allocation, so that the people there can have their own facility that government can pay attention to them in saving their lives. So the challenges have been there. We have been flagging it, and I think that some interventions have been made. The chief medical officer myself got a pending meeting. Okay. I hope we can have that meeting as soon as possible, so that we can clear some things before I can get back to the Minister of Health on this matter. Yeah, so the health area is an area of challenge right now. It's a major concern for all of us.
How about education, where you came from, and you have a very good standing with what you did in Ghana at the United Methodist School?
It is just the same thing. I was in a couple of our villages, and I got photograph of schools where they are out of school decks. In one of the villages, I had to give them money so that the broken ones can do some repair work. I've also instructed the operators of our power saw to do some sawing so that we can do some intervention at some of the schools. Okay. Some of them need renovation, but the economic challenges. So in some of the areas we have gone to Fleeting, I've seen their school. I saw one of the classrooms. You had the tema, growing in there because of the lack of support. Okay. Then the students are dropping because the classrooms are becoming very challenging. Recently government downsized. They call it retirement. They retired a lot of teachers. So the schools were finding it difficult to operate. We thank God that they are considering allowing those people to return to the classroom so that they can continue to provide service to our people. But on the overall, I think it is very difficult. The free primary education thing, I think, is kind of challenging now because the parents are complaining that most of the schools are requesting for money. Okay. Interestingly, in almost all of the schools across my district, I'm sponsoring a couple of students, almost all of the schools. Wow. So I understand very well the economic burden that the parents are bearing across the district when it comes to educating their children. So we have been intervening. We have been talking to them. We have been talking with the EOs, from Zoge and Secretary District 1 to see how we can do some intervention. But the challenges are just there.
Okay, so we almost at the end of this interview, but if you just join us, keep sending in your comment. Let's take this comment coming in from one of your citizens from Bam who's watching. Spencer Kamara is his name. And he said his concern has to do with the city mayor job in Bam. What are you doing about that?
Well, I think that's something from our end we have already concluded. Okay. Senator Johnson asked me to do a recommendation. I did a recommendation, submitted to him. And from my own understanding, that listing should have been submitted to the office of the president a couple of months ago. I don't know why the delay. So yeah, that's a concern for all of us because we need somebody permanent in Bam that we can all work along with. So Spencer, we are working on that. Just yesterday, I was trying to do a follow up on that, but sometimes the way those of us who came from the public sector background, the way we want things to go, sometimes it becomes different in government. So I'm hoping that within the next couple of weeks, that can be settled.
Okay. So we believe the issue of system abuse is something that we are all faced with as a nation and people, and rape, and even the war crimes and economic code that has been going around. What are your own position on this?
You know, we are under moral obligation to protect our female
Okay.
in the society. So abusing them in every form of manner is something that some of us will not allow,
Okay.
because I got daughters, I got mother, I got wife, I got sisters, I got aunts. You know, the same way I want them to be treated, I think women all around the world should be treated like that.
Hmm.
So all of us need to ensure that our women are protected. If you, there are a lot of women out there. If you want relationship, you can go the proper way and build relationship with someone. I will not accept in any way forcing your will on the person in terms of raping the person. I think when you do that, you should be the full weight of the law. So that's something I seriously frown against. The issue of substance abuse is also a major concern for some of us. Um, I had a nephew who was involved in that, and I thank God that he has gone back home now. And when I was sponsoring him when I was still in Methodist, I was helping him at the school there. And when I left, he started going bad. So when I asked the parents, they told me, yes, they have a whole camp on the Methodist property there. So I decided to go there to look for him. When I went, I felt so bad that I saw children, very smart children that I've been mentoring over the years, who were also in that boat. And what hit me was one of them was the son of a pastor. And, so when he saw me, he was ashamed because he wanted to run. And I said, look, you don't belong here. If that's anything, you need to go home. And so there where my eyes started opening on the challenge that we are faced with. We see these children walking on the street. We think that they are normal, but they are deep, deep, deep into drugs. And I think the government needs to be intentional about saving the future of this country by paying attention to that particular population, so that they cannot continue to invest into that habit across the country. I have special interest in them. Just recently in Sacramento, I was talking with a group of them. They came to my house. We sat, we talked. And those of them who are doing car washing, I managed to get a car washing machine for them. And I told them that there's a need for us to sit down and have a conversation before I can turn that machine, because I want to draw your attention from the street so that you can become a useful person. So I have an elder brother, Reverend Domah, who is also deeply involved with that. And I'm glad that some of us have interest in that, and we are trying to work along with them.
Okay. So what your final comments, just in case you have any?
Well, we want to call on the government to create intentional programs for people who are falling in that kind of category, so that we can redeem them from destroying their own future. We are under obligation as government to do that. I hope my colleagues, all of us, can look into that and even provide budgetary support in that direction, so that individuals that are intentionally working along with them and impacting the lives of these people can be supported through national endeavor. And also, the government needs to ensure that the issue of rape is taken seriously. I hope that all of the counties will even have a code that will specifically focus on rape issue. In that way, we'll be able to fast track it, so that if somebody is falsely accused, that person can be, exonerated in the early possible time. Or if the person is indeed a doer, the person can be the weight of the law.
Okay, thanks so much for joining us this morning, for taking up your time. For all those who tune in this morning, would say thank you so much and have a wonderful day. And greetings to the people of District Number 7.
Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
sir.
It's a